How's it going, everybody? Chris from the Blu-ray Critic here, and I got two brand new releases to talk about today, coming from Arrow, one of which is part of the Arrow Academy line, and that is a film called The Apartment. It's a wonderful classic film. We know Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and also Fred MacMurray. I also got the Pulp, released by Arrow Video, and this one stars Michael Caine, Sir Michael Caine. But first, let's talk about The Apartment, directed by one of my favorite directors of all time, and that is Billy Wilder. And this film came out in 1960, and Wilder directed some of the greatest films of all time, such as Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard, Some Like It Hot, and also The 7-Year Itch with Marilyn Monroe. And yeah, that's the movie with that famous scene where Monroe's dress gets puffed up on a sidewalk. So Wilder had an interesting career directing films, but he actually started overseas in Europe before deciding to come to Hollywood in the 1930s. And he was just one of those directors that said it like it is, but that's what made him great because all his films have a sense of charm and a cinematography style that only a Wilder picture can produce. So Arrow Academy presents us The Apartment in a new 4K restoration, and they did a really masterful job restoring this film, and it really brings out the details, and the black holes look excellent for this black and white film. So if you've never seen The Apartment, the story is about a insurance broker named C.C. Baxter, played by the great Jack Lemmon, who lives a sad and lonely life, living up in the Upper West Side apartment in New York. And what makes the matters worse, Baxter's bosses want to use his apartment for extramarital affairs. But when Baxter realizes that one of his bosses is dating the cute elevator girl at work, played by the wonderful Shirley MacLaine, whom Baxter is also interested in, he must decide between the girl he loves or the advancement of his career. And it's a funny yet charming movie and a great example of one of Wilder's finest works. And Jack Lemmon plays the likable, innocent character perfectly. And I really love the way this film was shot. It has that film noir feel to it in a way, even though it's not a film noir picture. This film also co-stars Fred MacMurray, most famous for his brilliant performance in Double Indemnity, which of course Wilder also directed. And this Blu-ray release by Arrow Academy comes fully loaded with so many great featurettes, one of which is a audio commentary with film producer and historian Bruce Block, as well as The Key to the Apartment, which is a new appreciation of the film by film historian Philip Kemp. You also get a featurette called A Letter to Castro, which is a new interview with actress Hope Holiday. Also archive interviews with the director, of course, Billy Wilder, and so much more. Also included is a 150-page book with great pictures and film notes, lots of great stuff. And as far as my thoughts on the picture and audio quality, I'm going to rate this one a 5 out of a 5 for both. Excellent looking picture overall. Like I said, the black holes really pop for this black and white film. Has nice balance of grain and just really pleasing to the eyes. You guys are going to be quite impressed how this classic film looks. And this also features two audio tracks. You get the mono 1.0 as well as the 5.1. And the aspect ratio for this film is in the 2:35 format. And this is a Region A release. And that is The Apartment, making its Blu-ray debut by Arrow Academy. And next up I got Pulp, which is a fun comedy / crime film from 1972, and it stars Sir Michael Caine. And the story is about Mickey King, an author of trashy novels who has no ambition of becoming a legitimate writer. So after an ex-actor named Preston Gilbert, played by Mickey Rooney, hires King as a ghostwriter for his biography, something happens to Preston, and that's when King tries to get to the bottom of this. So it's basically one of those films that I can't give away too much as far as the story. But I happen to really like this one, and it's directed by Mike Hodges, who also directed the original Get Carter film with Michael Caine, as well as Flash Gordon in 1980, which starred Sam Jones. And they actually shot this whole film in Malta, which is an island on the Mediterranean Sea. This film also features the beautiful Elizabeth Scott in her final film appearance, and yeah, for some reason she ended up retiring at the age of 50. But she was best known for her roles in a couple great film noir movies in the 1940s, one of which was Dead Reckoning with Humphrey Bogart, as well as The Strange Love of Martha Ivers with Barbara Stanwyck. So Arrow Video has given this film a brand new 2K restoration, and since this happens to be a DVD copy that I'm reviewing, I can't really give you my opinion since I don't have the Blu-ray on hand. But for DVD standards, it looked and sounded pretty solid. So I'll rate it a 4 out of a 5 for the picture and audio. And this release contains a few special features, one of which is a brand new interview with the writer-director Mike Hodges, as well as a new interview with the director of photography, and much more, including the trailer. And the aspect ratio is in the 1.85 format, and this is a Region 1 release. So that's my review, guys. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.